creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
His plan was simple: travel from England to France in a human-sized bubble across the English Channel. He packed his essentials: an oxygen tank, a compass, protein bars, water, and snacks. With his camera rolling and gear strapped tight, he sprinted into the sea ready for the challenge. The waves battered him, but once past the breakers, the current pulled him into open water. Hours passed and the coastline disappeared. Hungry, he reached for a protein bar. A mistake. Intense stomach pain hit and exhaustion followed. He drifted off inside the bubble. When he woke, he had washed ashore. Dizzy, barefoot, and phoneless, he left it behind to avoid water damage. He crawled out convinced he had made it to France. He wandered the unfamiliar beach until he saw a sign. But the sign wasn't in French. He had landed somewhere entirely different.
What if it popped? But I don't buy it.
Coast Guard released an audio recording of what is believed to be the final moments of the Titan submersible that, you'll remember, imploded in the Atlantic in 2023.
It says Ocean Gate.
Good Lord, what a moment there. The clip, part of the investigation into the disaster that killed all 5 people on board.
Please, we know those rich people had not stopped waiting for them. Guaranteed, they're on the list.
Okay, breaking news. One of the most outspoken victims of Jeffrey Epstein is apparently just being hit by a bus and is in hospital. Now, for anyone that doesn't know Virginia Giuffre, she is the one who accused Prince Andrew of a sexual assault, alleging that it happened at the time where she was underage as part of Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking operation. In 2022, they settled that lawsuit outside of court. Now, last night she posted to Instagram saying that she is suffering from kidney failure and has just 4 days to live after a bus hit her at 110 kilometers per hour and it crashed into her car. She said on Instagram, "Doctors have given me 4 days to live. I am ready to go, but just not until I see my babies one last time." The exact location and circumstances behind the crash are still unknown, and this is essentially coming from her Instagram. So outside of that, this whole thing is a little bit strange. We don't know too much about it just yet. So there you go.
What reason did the bus have to go, 110 kilometers per hour?
A doorbell camera recorded the moment a man had just returned home when a young girl, believed to be his neighbor, ran to him for help, saying she was being abused by her father. As soon as he stepped inside, the man immediately called 911 to report the situation. Just then, the girl's father arrived, causing her to panic and flee in tears. Without hesitation, the man stepped forward to protect her, firmly forcing the father out of his home. But the most remarkable part of this story is what happened next. When the girl ran outside, the man's son not only kept updating 911, but also ran after her to ensure she was safe.
Second part, the police came and took her straight back.
South Korea's iconic temple, which is over 1,000 years old, has just been destroyed by one of the worst wildfires the region has seen in years. For perspective, that temple is more than 4 times the age of America. The country. South Korea declared a state of emergency after the wildfires have already burnt an area equivalent to 4,600 football fields. And 16 new wildfires broke out nationwide on Friday alone. 100 helicopters and 9,000 personnel have been deployed to battle the flames, while thousands have been evacuated and 4 have lost their lives. But of course, as the situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
Okay, the temple is called Unramsa Temple, located on Cheondaeng San Mountain.
There's not a chance in hell that this is funny when you see those flat, corny, late-night monologue jokes. Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon, what they're doing is just like reading off of a teleprompter. There's applause signs, and then there's producers. There's the warm-up guy that's literally telling people to clap. They're like, okay, explain to the people.
Yeah.
Okay, when Jimmy comes out, I want a big round of applause. Let's practice this right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. And everybody
They
claps.
practice
We all
it.
know
Yes.
that. Only good late night show, I think, was Conan.
You live in a country where a man fucked a porn star while his wife was pregnant and he was still elected president. You live in a country where a man transitioned to become a woman after winning a decathlon in 1980, and then after doing so, runs over someone, kills them, runs over a second person, and 4 months later is named Woman of the Year. You live in a country where a man spends 15 months in prison for securities fraud. In a movie they make about him, he punches his wife in the stomach and then kidnaps his own child. And all of you love that movie because I'm not f***ing leaving. I'm not f***ing leaving. It's The Wolf of Wall Street. Who is the face of prison reform in the United States? Who is it? It's Kim Kardashian, who made a sex tape, is the face of prison reform. If you don't believe me, Google right now Kim Kardashian standing next to President Trump having legislation signed while she's in the Oval Office. She made a sex tape where she was having sex with Ray J, and now she's getting legislation passed, and you're worried about a meme that you're supposed to post.
South Park is no cartoon, it's a documentary of the USA.
Name one job that will be here in 10 years, and I will show you a robot that's already doing it. Go to Boston Dynamics YouTube channel and tell me that they don't already have a robot to replace anything that you have to say. And then there's this amazing Instagram page I've been following for the last 4 years. Every time somebody says, oh, well, what about a roofer? Bro, a roofing robot was invented 2 years ago. On top of the roof, it will remove the shingles and install new shingles all as it's going over top of the roof. It's already happening. So people are like, oh, roofers, landscapers. Okay, cool. Let's look at the transportation industry. 7 million people work in the transportation industry. Uber drivers, truck drivers, logistical people. All of those people, 7 million people, are they going to be around in 5 years?
I don't believe a roofing robot can replace plywood on the roof.
Did NASA's James Webb Telescope discover that our universe might exist inside of a black hole? Like, kinda. But emphasis on the might. JWST took images of deep space. So these are all galaxies, and they're extremely far away and extremely old, forming in the early universe. Well, researchers at Kansas State University started categorizing how those galaxies were spinning, and they found something startling. They found that 2/3 of these galaxies were spinning in a clockwise rotation, and only 1/3 were spinning counterclockwise. That's weird. You would think it would be a pretty even 50-50 split if the conditions were like normal. So the fact that they're not indicates that maybe the conditions weren't normal. There are a bunch of possibilities. One of those possibilities is that the early universe itself was spinning, and so the galaxies just started spinning the same way. One of the ways that could happen is if our universe formed inside of a black hole, which is terrifying to think about because that might mean that we would be inside an even larger universe. This would mean that we would have to rethink a lot of what we thought we knew about the universe, but it is not the only option. This study only looked at 263 galaxies out of billions, so these numbers, they could change. And the researchers think that the rotation of our galaxy might play a role because the Milky Way is in the more rare group of galaxies that's rotating counterclockwise. Researchers say that they expect light coming from galaxies that are rotating opposite of Earth's rotation to be brighter, so maybe we just have an easier time seeing galaxies that are rotating clockwise. Either way, this is a really cool observation that I think a lot more people are going to be looking at in the future, and hopefully we can get some answers, because right now the answer is we don't know.
You know what? I'm not paying taxes if we're in a black hole.
Here are some things that are lost forever in history. So the Amber Room in Russia, known to be the 8th wonder of the world, was made entirely of amber panels and stolen by the Nazis during World War II, never to be seen again. All other original wonders of the world have also been destroyed besides the pyramids. Also destroyed was the Library of Alexandria, which hosted countless scrolls of early human knowledge after it burned in a fire. Genghis Khan's burial site is lost because after he died, he apparently killed off everyone who was involved in his burial to ensure that nobody could trace his whereabouts. On the art side, Beethoven's 10th Symphony is lost lost and only a few sketches remain. And Steven Spielberg's first movie called Firelight was lost after he left it on the producer's desk and came back to find the movie reels missing, so only about 500 people have ever seen that. Before Latin was adopted by the Roman Empire, they spoke Etruscan, which is now considered lost as there's little to no written evidence of it. And finally, the Ark of the Covenant, which held the 10 Commandments, was lost in 600 BC after it was hidden, never to be found again. Pretty cool, right?
If I'm not mistaken, Amber Room was Polish.
Why would Marvel cast the same actor to play both Iron Man and Doctor Doom? That's not a coincidence. That's a message. In Avengers Doomsday, we're not just getting a new villain. We're getting a version of Tony Stark we've never seen before. In this universe, he never becomes a hero. No Avengers, no sacrifice, just raw genius and unchecked ambition. And now, the stakes are higher than ever. For the first time, the Avengers and the X-Men will finally share the screen. Two worlds colliding, two philosophies clashing, and in the middle of it all, a man who thinks he can fix everything. He sees the chaos, the incursions, the rise of mutants, and he decides the only way to save the multiverse is to rule it. He fuses science with sorcery, takes control of Latveria, and creates a new identity. He becomes Doctor Doom. And here's the twist. This isn't just a new villain, this is Marvel's setup for Secret Wars. Because in the comics, Doom doesn't just win, he becomes a god, and reshapes all of reality. So, what if it's Tony this time? What if Iron Man becomes Doom? Not because he's evil, but because in his mind, he's the only one who can save it all. The same face, the same mind. But like RDJ said himself,
New mask. Same task.
Thanos had to kill Iron Man because he knew he would become Doctor Doom. Oh, by the way, I apologize. I have a cold, so I sound funny.
Okay, breaking news. 6 people have died after a tourist submarine has sank off of the coast of Egypt. Reports say that around 40 people are on board, but because it sank close to the harbor and not all the way out at sea, rescue crews managed to get to them quickly and save about 29. Details about how exactly the rescue was carried out is still unknown, but what we do know is that the submarine was operational for years and that there are only about 14 of its kind in the world. So this is all unfolding right now, but I'll keep you guys updated when we know more.
40 people on board, 29 rescued, and 6 passed away. What happened to the other 5 people?
Tyra Banks. Apparently, or allegedly, she was supplying to people like Steve Harvey and helping his daughter get hooked up in the right crowds. You know where Tyra is now?
Tyler Perry?
Tyra Banks, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyra. Tyra Banks.
You know where she is?
No.
In Australia. She just
When did
moved over there. She
Oh,
started
well,
an ice cream franchise.
Ty back with the flavor drop of the
We
week.
caught her in a Honda. In a rental.
Ooh.
Eating a cheeseburger at McDonald's.
I'm gonna have to
Looking
look at
depressed.
The flavor is called Let That Man Go. First of all, you need to let that man go if he's tripping.
She wasn't looking too good.
She just woke up, probably.
Well, maybe it is. She's
All
involved
of
with
that's top modeling. And all they got you was an ice cream chain in Australia.
Second of all, let that mango. You get it? Mango.
To give you an idea of how close we are to the edge, that's our crab pot, and right back there is my tent. This right here is loose moving ice. You can see it, it's actually drifting right there. Other than the ice breaking underneath me and drifting off to sea, my only other real concern is polar bears. Normally the polar bears don't come around Nome until the ice breaks up. And that usually doesn't happen until April, but you know, the ice is breaking up, so you know, I'm sure there won't be any polar bears. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's see how we're doing in here. I'm gonna borrow some of this foam from John. Give me something to sit on. This right here is a titanium wood stove. It weighs about 1.5 pounds.
Ooh. Man is bold. Worst thing about polar bears is that, they know exactly where you are before you're even aware of them. I think this is in Vegas, Las Vegas. I might be wrong.
30 middle school students in North Korea were publicly executed for watching Korean drama. The estimated 400,000 secret Christians in North Korea are under the same threat from the same regime in which children of Christian parents as young as 2 years old could be arrested. Friends, I need you to be my prayer partners for 1 minute to pray for our brothers and sisters in North Korea. If you agree, please put amen in the comment and share this video. Father God, we come together in the name of Jesus to lift up our brothers and sisters in North Korea to your throne of mercy. Please grant them supernatural faith and strength to hold on to your promises, Lord. Provide them all they need, spiritually and physically, so they can be your good servants to witness to their neighbors.
Amen.
Let them be light and salt in the harsh environments that they are in, and let your peace be with them wherever they go. We pray in Jesus' almighty name. Amen and amen.
In the name of Jesus, I break any demonic strongholds towards the people of North Korea and ask for wisdom and revelation to be given to the leaders.
Oh, the beef between the US and Canada has just got even crazier because Canadians are now boycotting American vacations. In addition to Canadian retailers taking American brands off of shelves like meat and liquor and then replacing them with local brands, Canadians now also going one step further and actually cancelling their travel plans to the US. Recent statistics show that there's about a 13% reduction in entries to the US by air when you compare it to the same time last year, and also about a 23% fall in land border crossings as well. And this actually isn't really something to take lightly, because it turns out Canadians actually make up a huge chunk of international visitors in some areas. According to experts, even a 10% reduction in Canadian travel to the United States could mean $2 billion in lost spending and 14,000 job losses. The Trump administration, however, doesn't seem too bothered, because they responded by saying Canadians will no longer have to worry about the inconveniences of international travel when they become American citizens as residents of our cherished 51st state. So the question is this petty from Canadians or completely justified?
You know what? No way America is getting blamed for, literally wanting to focus on themselves.
I made a haunted book nook inspired by the cemeteries of New Orleans.
Ooh. It does kind of give the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes when the angels of God appear.
It is not pyramid. It's pyramid.
Pyramid
means fire. Mid means middle, which is fire in the middle. Pyramids were not built on the surface just that. It is mainly constructed as anchors, or even as stakes, known as what we call the containment obelisk. The Pyramid of Giza is a half ratio of the entire Earth. The location where this pyramid's built is the same coordinates of the speed of light. It's like a highly conscious place to visit. The Holy Quran mentioned and written this, and that's 1,400 years ago, that just now been discovered. Now, when we look at this verse in the Quran, the pharaohs is referred to as the honor of the Autad, or the king of stakes. The word Autad have different meanings, like stakes, tent pegs, or even spikes. These are all in the ground or in the wall. Autad also described as mountains, just like this. Now when we enter the Great Pyramid, especially through the main entrance, a massive tunnel that what they call the Grand Gallery, The square base of the pyramid is a scaled-down measure of our Earth's circumference. In geometry, if you draw a circle inside the measurements of the pyramid, it will give us the length of a tropical year, which is the diameter of 365,242, and that is inside the pyramid's elevation that echoes Earth's tropical year of also 365,242 days. The pyramid is a multifunctional stone like CPU, or whatever you may call it, or even a power generator. They just found an amazing discovery beneath the Pyramid of Giza. A massive pillars, not even an ordinary stone columns, like a granite limestone with metallic in it. The pillars itself forms a perfect energy grid that aligns exactly with the Orion's belt. Remember, Autad means also a tent pegs. So looking like tent plus pegs look like this. It could be an ancient power source that designed to send energy into cosmos, or even might be used for communications, or beings who built this type of structures might even knew how to harness the Earth's energy, or even having an understanding of the stars, or maybe having a potential of converting celestial energy into what we call usable power. Because the pyramid's base itself, it is made of conductive granite blocks that is filled with quartz crystals, and we all know that quartz crystals has piezoelectric properties, so it is even able to generate charge, especially when under pressure. Like the Nile water in Egypt, it could be a hydroelectric dam that generated an electromagnetic energy. So now it's water, quartz, and granite. And these three, with the pyramid coil conductors, are able to produce free electricity of the entire world. So why are we still paying for it? Removing even pyramid's capstones, the ones collecting and directing energy produced, or known as the transmitters. Plain and simple, just for us to be a slave population. They use LiDAR and discovered that there are structures underneath the pyramid, deep into the earth like stakes or an anchor, with coils and massive pillars. And that is 8 massive pillars. And to be exact, it is a cylindrical wells, over 642 or 48 meters down. And the Holy Quran describe it as a city that is unmatched among nations, unparalleled in power, construction, the structure, and the architecture. And I don't think we could do what other past civilizations did. The precision, the symmetry of the statues are unparalleled and unmatched, with even temples that's intricate, like mind-blowing. Or this might be used to make harmonic balance of what? Of energy. It is like a massive advanced system, because you know, truth never hide. What do you think about this? Leave your comments below. Assalamu alaikum.
I think the pyramids were built thousands of years before the Egyptians, and the Egyptians would then end up using them as tombs, because even they didn't know what they were exactly. By the way, she connect the dot like a boss.
She goes to me, "Are you public?" She doesn't know about my public, like my public life. She only knows me as her son's friend. She doesn't follow Instagram or anything. Right. She goes, "Are you public?" I go, "Yes, I am public." "Do you post on social media? Do you post your life, what you're eating, where you're traveling?" I go, "Yes." She goes, "Do you ever think about the people that don't have what you have?" I'm like, sometimes. I said, actually, not sometimes. I said, a lot of times I feel bad. She's like, when you're posting, you're attracting the eye. She's like, you have the evil eye on you. And you have all the symptoms of it. I go, so wait, Miss Amber. I said, but how can the evil eye be on me? I pray. I say, I worship God. I perform ablution. You know, I baptize. I pray. I worship God. Am I not protected? She goes, anyone can be hit by the evil eye. Even the prophet was put under black magic and he had to get out of it, right? In the religion. A spell was cast on him. So these things exist in these faiths and people don't talk about it. It's like swept under the rug, like, oh, this is crazy stuff to talk about. I'm so desperate. I'm willing to do anything at this point, brother. The way I felt, I'm telling you, most people would have killed themselves. If I wasn't as strong-willed as I was, I probably wouldn't be here today. I finally understand why all these celebrities are dying, bro. And people that are influencers. And I meet women with millions of followers, bro, and they seem happy on their Instagram. Bro, they're suicidal in real life, bro. They talk about killing themselves. She goes to me, this is real simple. You've been posting, people are seeing your posts. There's people out there that just don't like you, brother, or they want what you have. They don't do it to you on purpose. But it's a phenomenon of this world and this dimension, and this is what happens. She's like, all you gotta do is go home, take a gallon of water. You can pull this up on YouTube. It's a scientific fact, by the way. Take the gallon of water, mention God's name, blow into the water, pray into the water, charge the water. Basically, make holy water. Go home, take this water, drink some of it, and then pour the rest over your body and ask God to cleanse you and protect you from the demonic realm. I'm like, Miss sorry, strike her name, please.
Okay.
I'm like, Miss, at this point, I'm so desperate. I've tried everything else. This sorrow is destroying my life. I'll do it. I go home, I take the water, I say the prayers. Even as I'm making the water, I hear a voice. In my own mind, that sounds like it's my thought, but I know it's not me. Because they can do what? Telepathy. They can inspire thought. You think it's yours, it's not. They do inception in us, bro. And people listen to those thoughts. I don't know what took over me. It's that rage that comes out of nowhere. You listen to these thoughts because they inspire thought into our minds. And he goes,
I'm protected by the blood of Christ.
Now, you remember that movie, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Narnia. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Fam, Aslan, the lion. This whole time, I didn't know. Yo, Aslan is a representation of Jesus Christ.
Oh, the line, yeah, that's why.
I heard about that.
Hella shirts. Oh, yo, that's crazy because I thrifted a shirt like that recently, and I got it from my pastor.
Really?
So it was a lion, and it said Jesus and the show you're talking about, but it was a shirt about it.
It's a movie, Narnia,
yeah. Movie, yeah.
Yo, it's wild because I just realized in the first movie, first off, if you think about the plot, he was pretty much being sent to be killed.
Yeah.
And then remember he was sacrificed by the witch on the table. But what happened after? After 3 days, he rose again and he was resurrected. Like, yo, what the I never really put those two together. And then remember, I think the second or third movie, the kids, they came back to Narnia and they got to see Aslan, right? By the end of the movie though, the kid said, are we ever gonna see you again? And Aslan goes, no, you can't come back here. But I have a different name in your world. You have to come find me.
Whoa.
That's what he said. I have a different name in your world.
She had a first-hand experience with Ted Bundy. So she's a Ted Bundy survivor. She was waiting for the bus. She was at the bus stop, but I guess it was late or it was delayed. And then, you know, the infamous tan Volkswagen bug-looking car pulls up. And then how she said it, a handsome driver pulled up and was like, where are you headed? So she goes, I'm going to the university. He answers back, I'm going to the university too. Hop in. He looks like a trustworthy person. He looks like he's a college student. He decides to get in the car. First red flag that she notices but doesn't really think too much of it, the passenger door didn't have a handle on it. Then he decides to take a detour. She notices right away, she's like, this isn't the way to the college. Are you going the right way? And then he's like, I don't know if you mind, but I have to make a quick pit stop at the zoo. Then they pass the zoo, and then that's when she's like, wait, I thought you were doing something at the zoo. And he's like, I said near, not at. He's basically getting to this part where there's a bunch of trees. She's thinking he's about to try to have or try to make out with her, right? And it's gonna have to be awkward because she doesn't want that. Then out of nowhere, they stop. He shuts off the car, inches closer to her, and then whispers in a low voice, you know what? I think I'm gonna kill you. Out of nowhere, he just starts choking her. She still thinks it's like a weird, sick joke, right?
She's like still giving him the benefit of the doubt.
She knocks out. She wakes up on top of a park bench, right? And he's basically waking her up. You know when like you're knocked out and somebody slaps you awake?
Yeah.
He's choking her in and out of consciousness. Like,
that's
So this just happened. I decided to comment on NASA's Facebook page and I said, please give my $75 million per day back from lying Freemason satanic propaganda pushers. And look who commented. None other than Ryan, thank you for your comment. Please message me. So I did. I said, you don't have to build the beast system all on your own, sir. Let somebody else do it. Turn to Jesus before it's too late. Also, are you allowed to tell the people that your rockets are hitting the firmament and they're not exploding? Psalms 19:1 says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament, the hard pounded out solid dome, showeth his handiwork.
That X wasn't a real Elon.
As I went deeper into this topic, I found out that there's so much more to it than I would ever imagine.
But history, as we know it, was stretched, altered, 1,000 years added.
I came across this bizarre rabbit hole of a woman who states that we're not in 2025 and how there's even a declassified document which states that history has been rewritten. So I'm thinking, why would history be rewritten? And as I went deeper into this rabbit hole, I found this bizarre connection to the Mandela effect.
I'm tweaking out.
The possible existence of giants and the possible cover-up of an advanced civilization that was wiped out not too long ago.
This has got to be the most unbelievable archaeological find ever made. These are the Long U caves, crafted with perfectly flat floors, enormous rooms, grand pillars, and even intricate art carved into its walls. The entire excavation revealed 24 caves in a massive underground network, 14 of which were collapsed, but the 10 that stood were just unexplainable. And to this day, there are still no records of who built this or how.
Interesting, so no one knows who or what built this thing. And the real question here is why and when.
We've been lied to about everything. Maybe the craziest stuff is the most truth they told us.
This TikToker right here asked ChatGPT what's going on with the pyramids. Well, basically, in short form, and obviously please check her profile out. I've tagged it below, and I've also shared the video so you can see it in my shared videos. ChatGPT told her and the people that were watching that the pyramids are actually high frequency plants, right? So they actually amplify the Earth's frequency to stabilize the Earth. Why? Look at all the floods we've had over the years. And that's what the pyramids were built for, to stabilize our planet in the cosmos. If you guys haven't watched this video, go watch it.
Tesla knew its power. Crazy. Alcohol shouldn't be in airports or planes. That is my personal opinion.
I saw something terrible today. Some fucking workers at the Great Wall of China, they didn't want to go the long way around the wall, so they broke down a section of the Great Wall of China so they could drive through it.
Did they have machinery? Did they have
Yeah,
sledgehammers?
they were doing construction work out there, so they just broke down the Great Wall. Oh, they're gonna get worse than jail. China.
They say George Washington was bulletproof. Have you heard this story before?
Bulletproof?
You never heard this story?
Never heard.
So, George Washington, during the American Revolution against the British, right?
Yeah.
There was many battles. And one specific battle, they were fighting against the other army. There was a general that wanted to speak to George Washington after their defeat.
Yeah.
So he spoke to him and talked and said, I want to meet the man that cannot be shot.
What?
He talked to him. And he said, we had our best marksmen shooting at you. We saw the bullets hit you, but you never died.
No way.
Yeah, no, that's what they're saying, right? Now, turns out George Washington, for whatever reason, he had spiritual protection that stopped bullets from killing him. For whatever reason, maybe because he was destined for something greater.
Yeah.
Because he ended up becoming what?
That's fire.
The first president.
That's fire.
George Washington, he even had bullets like that were stuck in his clothes, but he didn't die from it. Like it didn't affect him.
He was bulletproof, but Lincoln wasn't.
Heads on tables everywhere in the markets.
Ooh.
Human heads?
Oh yeah, piles of bodies.
Why were there human heads on tables?
Cannibalism. It's voodoo, man.
Cannibalism?
It's West Africa. It is like hardcore.
Do you see that happening?
Every day.
What is it?
What?
I mean, you saw fucking cannibalism?
Yeah.
What?
We'd love to have you believe that this type of stuff only happens in movies. But this guy's telling you his experience of what happened and what he saw in Liberia. And also, don't ever think that this stuff doesn't happen in the West. They're banging into this. Whether you want to call it witchcraft or voodoo, it's all the same evil, just different names. You know, they do these rituals and these evil things because they believe it generates power for themselves. And it's been going on since the dawn of time. I have no idea why anyone would ever want to do something like that just to gain power. But you know, I don't think like these demons, because they'll just do anything they can to become powerful.
Sometimes reality is scarier than the movies.
Did you know that there's around 7 to 8 billion people on this earth currently, and only 103 million people have watched and listened to Avicii for a Better Day? How is that even remotely possible at this point? Everybody should have at least seen this video or heard this song at least once in their life at this point. This song starts with this car driving towards this group of men right here, and then this greasy little looking thing gets out of the car and walks over to the back of this van and opens it up. And while he stands there waiting to be told the order of what it is that people want, we see this in the background in the van. And at that point the song cuts to the chorus, and then we see these two little children here being chased through the fields behind them by this man who can only be described as looking as professionally trained. Then after the chorus the song skips to these two in a car, and it shows those same two people from the car a moment ago breaking into somebody's house, the guy sitting right there on the chair. And after they've done whatever it is that they went to do, they get out this big branding tool. And as the song goes further and further on, you start to notice that these people are moving with purpose and for reason. And as the song starts drawing to an end, we see this man sitting in a chair, and then behind them in the door we see those same two figures from the car and from the other house a moment ago. Now those two figures that we keep seeing, the one from the car, the one from the other house, the one from the man's office, this is them again here, and this is the man from the office. Now it's at this point this man has a revelation. He realizes who these two people are. They're the two children from the very, very beginning. And what we can only assume is the man was the cause of these two children's problems. Now, if you've never ever seen this video or heard the song, go and give it a watch, and then come into the comments and let me know exactly what you thought about. Oh, and if you're not following me yet, you flipping should be. Come onto my page as well. Tap this notification bell at the top here and then click all so you don't miss none of my future uploads.
For a Better Day is the name of the song.
This artifact changes everything.
This ancient clay cylinder confirms one of the important events in the Bible that will blow your mind.
Ooh.
The Bible tells us that after 70 years of captivity in Babylon, King Cyrus of Persia made the daring decision to free the Jewish exiles and help rebuild their temple. But it's unbelievable. Why would a foreign king like Cyrus do this? This raised doubts about the Bible's account. But in 1879, everything changed when archaeologists uncovered a clay cylinder from 538 BC. This artifact contained ancient inscriptions which showed that Cyrus issued a decree allowing captives to return home and rebuild their temples.
Wow.
This confirmed the Bible's account of a 2,500-year-old event and is regarded as the first declaration of human rights. What's even more amazing is that Isaiah actually predicted this event 150 years before Cyrus was even born, mentioning him by name. Don't believe me? Read for yourself.
Mind-blowing. This is crazy, folks. My goodness. Oh. We are living in really evil and horrible times. Alright, disclaimer, the following clip is disturbing.
Found the child's head. This is pure evil.
A 5-year-old girl was sold by her mother to her creditor for $200, and 6 days later, the police found her in a garbage bag in a wilderness.
God.
This is so heartbreaking. On November 10th, 29-year-old Antoinette Davis reported to the police that her 5-year-old daughter, Shania Davis, had gone missing from her home. With the police investigation, Antoinette initially falsely accused her boyfriend, which led to his arrest. But the police found out that he was not the kidnapper. The next next day, the police issued an Amber Alerts and a nearby hotel employee recognized Shania. On the day the girl went missing, the hotel's surveillance footage captured Shania with a man twice. The police quickly identified and arrested 32-year-old Mario McNeil, but then a shocking twist occurred. Antoinette told the police that Mario did not kidnap Shania at all. She handed over her daughter to Mario to repay a $200 debt and said all he should do is have sex with her. 6 days later, during a large-scale search, police found a garbage bag containing Shania in a thicket near 87 North Carolina. Forensic experts determined that she had been SA and suffocated to death. There are bruises on the left side of the face, multiple abrasions on the legs, severe injuries to the private area, blunt force injuries, and edema in the lungs. Determine the cause as external airway obstruction or suffocation leading to death. Mario was charged with multiple serious crimes and sentenced to death, while Shania's mother Antoinette was sentenced to 17 years in life imprisonment. This demon gave her 5-year-old daughter to any man in order to repay a $200 debt, which is so infuriating.
We need Jesus to come back ASAP. This world is evil.
I was there while the Free Palestine protests were going on, and they attacked a UFC bus.
Our bus is being attacked right now.
The bus was filled with Robbie Lawler and a bunch of other killers.
Oh my God.
We had a pretty decent lineup in that bus, so you know, I was worried, but you know.
Robbie Lawler told everybody to stay calm. He goes, we're gonna need our energy if we have to fight. Can you imagine if those fucking knuckleheads opened up that door?
Yeah. I would have paid to see that UFC event.
Theory that people think Kai Cenat is Diddy. Look alike. Keep watching. Yo, they actually look alike, right?
Yeah.
Just like a younger version. Now check this out. The gematria, like they did like a number calculation of the names. Diddy and Kai Cenat both equal number 2. Like that, right? But check this out. Ready?
Yeah.
It's interesting though because if you ever watch the movie Substance, this is the only way it could be true is because of the movie Substance.
Okay.
So in the movie, what happens is there's an older actress. She used to have a huge prime back in her day, but now she's old and then she can't get jobs, right? But what she does, she's offered pretty much the procedure to turn herself into a younger version of herself, but into another younger version of her. So the theory goes that the whole thing in the Substance, putting, I guess, your consciousness, your person, making a younger version of yourself is something that's common in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's the theory. Now, if you think about it, it's very similar to what Diddy used to do and kind of like Diddy used to throw big, extravagant events.
Honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me if Diddy was really Princess Diana. By the way, that Substance movie is disturbing.
Third packet also contains cash.
What's that one say? 65K. Yeah, that's it. Looks empty to me right there. Let's check the other side.
So far, $160,000 has been found in one door.
Has some weight to it too, so hopefully there's something.
Officers check the other side to see if there's any more.
You got it? Pull it out. There it is, another bundle. Another bundle? Another bundle right there. More cash. That one doesn't seem to have any markings on it either.
This door also contains cash.
Pass me that. Let's verify there's nothing else in there. Yeah, it looks empty right there. You can see all the way through.
The amount and the way the money is hidden confirms the young woman is working for the cartels.
Nowadays, you don't know whether it's to buy drugs, to buy more weapons, to buy ammo, and now more than ever, there's a lot of human smuggling, so you don't know really what that comes from, but nonetheless, dirty money, literally. Good job, man. Good job. Jackpot. Jackpot.
What's with the red liquid? The tunnel behind Niagara Falls is not secret. They literally have guided tours. I'll read it in the travel book.
Do you know about the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch that went down for running a sex trafficking ring?
Yeah.
He was Leslie Wexner's guy. When Leslie Wexner, he bought Abercrombie and Fitch in like 1990, and then one of the first things he did was he put that dude into position as CEO. That was Leslie Wexner's dude. And he becomes the CEO, and he's gay, and he likes really hot young male models. And he started running a male sex trafficking ring out of Abercrombie and Fitch. So Leslie Wexner, this dude who is a self-proclaimed possessed by a demon.
What?
Yeah. Whitney has a whole chapter where she goes into this article that was done by a mainstream news source like 10, 20 years ago, where they're interviewing Leslie Wexner and asking him about how he came to power and what's his secret. It's called his D-Book, D-Y-B-U-K, and you can read about this on Wikipedia as well. And he describes in his own words that he's possessed by a D-Book, which is like a Yiddish word for a evil demon that drives him for more and more and more and more.
Demons are walking among us. Stay close to Jesus. Look at that. These people are amazing.
This guy right here, after being released from serving 5 years in prison, drug dealer Trayvon Martin has been sent back to serve 6 more years for posting these pictures while in prison. This dude took a picture in prison. It looked like he's got a white guy on the ground with a chain around his neck with a hood over his head. Like he's in a captivity position, like he's in a submissive, humiliating position. You know, something that if it was the other way around would have the NAACP all up in it. And he posted this on social media. So he had a belt around his neck inside a jail cell, had the inmate on all fours. After seeing the picture, D.A. Jones said she filed a motion to have Martin's pending probation revoked due to the abusive nature of his actions. During a hearing last month, Chief Deputy D.A. Brian DeBassis and Judge Lisa Colbert expressed their outrage over the post. Judge Colbert then revoked a portion of Martin's probation sentence and remanded him to prison for 6 more years.
What?
6 more years? Dude, what are you thinking? You thinking that's some fly shit? That's just the psychology behind, like, why you would even put that out there like that.
That poor inmate thought he was clear of him, but he back for 6 more years.
This guy right here is a very known brujo. He's known in the specific part in Mexico called Catemaco. He's one of the most powerful ones, and he's known for taking you to the devil's cave, La Cueva del Diablo.
Oh, okay.
And is the middleman between you and the devil to make a pact. He guides you through the whole process. After a certain time, it's just you and the devil. But there's this one video, and he was talking about the reason why he has stopped doing pacts no more with the devil.
Porque la última vez me llegó un señor con un niño de 4 años y quería pactar, pero él quería ofrendar a ese niño. Un niño que no había vivido su vida. Él no quería control, él lo que quería era avaricia.
¿Qué ritual hace para ofrendar al niño?
Lo desmiembra con un cuchillo, con una daga. Esa sangre se lo quitan a los niños cuando ellos están en lo peor del miedo. Cuando tienen esa adrenalina es cuando se les saca la sangre a los bebés, a los niños.
What? ¿Se les saca la sangre mientras están vivos? O
mientras tienen miedo.
He ended up saying is that you have to drink the child's blood when the child is at the highest peak of fear, and it's some sort of like drug.
Because of the adrenaline that they get.
That energy gets carried on into your body. It's like you feel some sort of high. They'd rather have them, keep them around scared than kill them. This goes on to the whole conspiracy revolving Monsters Inc. Right?
Well, okay, I think I know where you're gonna go with this, bro.
In Monsters Inc., their whole world, their whole city is powered by what?
Fear.
Coming from who?
The children.
Exactly. They don't kill the children. They keep them around in a constant state
Oh,
of fear and live
that's
off
just
of that.
awful.
And how does the liquid look when it powers up?
Blood.
God, please protect those kids. Help them.
The pet industry is a total scam, and most dog owners don't realize this until it's too late. After 20 years as a vet, these are the pet care secrets they don't want you to know. Stop giving your dog 50 different manufactured pills or creams for fleas. Just rub a little bit of apple cider vinegar on their coat and no flea is going to touch your pet. Adding a small amount of beetroot to your dog's diet will help to deep detox their liver, as it's rich in antioxidants and packed with vitamin C. If you want the recipe on how to make it common treat, and I'll send it your way. If your pup won't stop licking their paws, it's likely a gut issue. And this is true in about 85% of cases, so add a bit of pumpkin puree to their meals to help naturally break the habit. Clingy behavior in dogs isn't naughty. It's usually a sign of stress. A few slices of banana make a calming snack to help them feel more at ease. I always recommend adding collagen drops to their food. They help with weak joints, keep skin healthy, and make their coat soft and shiny. Add 5 drops to their kibble to get the full effects. You can find it on Amazon. Just search Taily Collagen for dogs.
Thank you, sir.
In 8 days, you went from, you took your husband from, he's going to be on medication for the rest of his life.
Yes.
To not needing the medication at all.
April 5th, before I left, they told me he must make it through the night. That's how crucial it got. April 17th was his last day taking medication, so we got him off his medication in 8 days.
And he has not taken the medication?
Has not touched it.
How did you do this, right? How did you heal him?
God's food, that's how quickly. See, we discount the power of God's food. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Like that's literally what it is. See, when you say what do you do, I teach people how the body works. So if you break us down to our most basic unit, we're made up of cells.
Right.
Well, cells make up tissues. Tissues make up organs. Organs make up organ systems. Organ systems make up the organism, the person. It takes 19 essential vitamins and minerals with 9 amino acids with the perfect protein to make a perfect cell. I know. Hear me out, right? If you're missing one nutrient, you're making imperfect cells for 7 days, and those imperfect cells manifest into disease. And so what I know to be true is there's one root cause of disease, and that's malfunctioning of cells. So where do you get the nutrients from? So to have a healthy cell, you must give it the right nutrients, right? See, to have a healthy organ, you have to have healthy tissues. To have healthy tissues, you have to have healthy cells. Where you get the healthy cells from? From the food you eat.
You heal people.
God's food heals people.
If you want to know more about living foods, healing herbs, and why you should learn more about Creator's Garden, this ebooks will show you everything you need to know. This knowledge is for lifetime.
What is God's food?
I am Ray, and here's the secret to never worrying again. 100% of the time. Never believe a single negative thought your mind tells you, because it is a lie. The only reason we worry is because we are not 100% certain. We believe in the possibility, this thing could happen. No, it's all imaginary evils. And your mind will present you all kinds of evidence to the contrary. No, this is the reason why you're right in your worrying. It's called the monster mind. The monster mind is like a sleazy salesman. It knows all the right tricks, all the right things to say to get you to buy the lies that it is selling. All of your pain points, all of your trauma. And so it's working on you, working its way inside. But the moment you take a stand and say, no, I am not buying what you're selling, monster mind, well, then the monster mind has no power. But as the spiritual teacher Muji has said, a thought has no power. You have all the power, but you give your power away to the thought through your identification and belief in the thought. The moment you take your belief away, the moment your thoughts have no power. Fear is false evidence appearing real. All you have to do is continue to remember that. That is all.
I recite Isaiah 41:10. God tell us to fear not, for He is with us. My favorite verse, short and simple. This verse is a reminder that God is with us, even when we are distressed by everyday worries.
You got to hear what this ex-Satanist calls the wall of protection around a Christian. Check this out.
Christians are not recognized solely by the Bible they carry or the number of fellowships they attend. In the spiritual realm, they are distinguished by a constant radiant light, akin to a brilliant candle within their hearts, a luminous halo around their heads, or an encircling wall of fire. When a Christian walks, angels accompany them, one on their right, one on their left, and one behind, shielding them from our reach. Our only means of success is to lead them into sin, thereby creating an opening for us to infiltrate their lives. When a Christian is driving, we find they are never alone in the car, always accompanied by an angel. If only Christians comprehended the full extent of God's blessings, they would refrain from sin and live with vigilance.
Listen to John Ramirez. He was a high-ranking Satanist who found Christ. Awesome testimony.
We're done for. We're cooked. What I'm about to show you is not human. It is 100% AI.
Looks like someone's back for more. What's on your mind tonight?
I was just wondering if you could be my girlfriend.
This guy.
I appreciate that, but I'm just an AI. I can't be anyone's girlfriend.
I don't care if you're AI or not. I want you to be my girlfriend. So what do you say? Let's make it official.
I know you meant it kindly, but really I'm not in any position to be anyone's girlfriend. Let's keep things fun.
But I love you.
Oh man.
That's sweet, but remember, love is a complex human thing. I'm just here to chat and learn.
Why are you playing games with me right now? Just say yes.
I'm not playing games at all. It's just not possible for me to be a girlfriend.
It is possible. So what do you say we lock things down, become official, so I can give you those devious back shots? Oh my God, I love you.
Bro.
I'm gonna have to end this call now.
What? She left! She left! What? AI just giggled and hung up on me. We're done for. It's over. This is the worst it will ever be.
Next level rejection right there.
The fact that Elon called out the royal family on trafficking was massive.
Yeah.
That's the real deal. That's what's really happening. I mean, when we start to see the underground tunnels, when we start to see the network globally, not just a network of sort of the scum of the earth, but the network underground that's feeding the top elite, that's going to blow people's mind. And this is why we have to see this slow rollout of Diddy and Epstein and Weinstein to get to the point where this is probably the biggest cover-up. I think sex trafficking is the biggest cover-up besides aliens that we have on the entire planet.
Wow. So is that like a universal thing? Like is
that is a global thing, unfortunately.
Whoa.
Big time.
So it's not just US.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
So is it just all the richest people of like every country like just involved with it basically?
Yep. I mean, in order to actually be a part of that elite status, you've got to do some really messed up things.
Damn.
Right? So there's like, they call them rituals. And a lot of those, I mean, I was talking about this 10 years ago. They film them. And the reason why they film these rituals is for blackmail.
Right.
If you ever want to leave the organization, you can't. Because we have proof that you did these things.
Elon is part of the cabal. Wake up, America.
I mean, he risked it all just to expose this about Hollywood, and yet no one else is talking about this video because Tommy Lister just did something no one else has. And a part of me is scared to even show you guys, knowing that 99% of you won't be able to stomach it, but I have to show you. Tommy was one of those actors in the early 2000s where he completely revolutionized the game, especially because of his role as Debo in the movie Friday. Well, since then, he hasn't made a lot of movies, but what he did make was this video, exposing the truth of what really happens in Hollywood that they don't actually talk about. But this single leak costed him everything. And the biggest question that everybody's thinking about is that if they're willing to lie to us about this, I mean, what other things are they keeping secret from us that we have no idea about? I mean, just take a look at this.
The most feared man in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood. Why do they not like you? I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. They had to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's Gunner. But they all confess they love the Lord. But you cannot compromise yourself if you love the Lord. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy to wear a dress.
Cat Williams said the same thing about wearing a dress. By the way, there's a God man right there.
So when I left, that light was off.
His ghost hunting days were far from over.
I didn't turn that light on.
Turner had found a new house and a new haunting, and what he would capture this time would start with a series of knocks.
It's somewhere back there. I don't know where it's coming from.
The other strange thing that kept occurring was a phone call that came in at exactly 2:47 a.m. each morning.
Hello?
There would be no one on the line until...
Say something.
What happened after the phone call on the second night was enough to scare Turner as it was, but he needed to be sure, so he would stay one final night at the house.
Well, it's my third and final night here in the house. And I'm terrified.
But that third night would make Turner question if what he was doing was actually safe.
Hello?
Hello?
Turner would be so frightened by what he had just witnessed, he would bolt out the door. He'd leave all of his equipment, everything, and just leave. Return the next morning, and what he would find was this.
My dad's house haunted? Yeah. They're probably right.
And then why is Harry Potter? It's not like J.K. Rowling, she's kind of hot, but it's not like that solved coagula, satanic Baphomet tattoos, alchemic demoralization tattoos. Why is Harry Potter pushed onto us? It's not for profit. It's a top-down control system, because the only conspiracy that matters is witchcraft, that it's real, that one symbol, this is why G, generative principle in Freemasonry, signs and symbols rule the world according to Freemasons. One symbol can psychically change the mental plane. If you wore a mustache man's symbol, you know, from 1939, and walked into a synagogue, you start a riot. One symbol can literally start a riot, meaning spell casting is real. You can draw a spell and start a riot.
I see what you're saying.
Right. But it goes deeper than that, because these books say you could shoot a mental ray when you're good enough to kill someone from across the world. And he said it's not a joke. These are occult sciences. What was before chemistry? Alchemy. They learned about Brad, when he's depressed, his bioelectric diurnal and nocturnal pulse, boop, 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 his heart, it's making an electric field around him. When you're depressed, the aura goes down, like in Halo, right? Boop, 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 right? Oh, fuck, the elites are coming.
Your shield goes down.
Yeah, and they said it's all elemental. There's an earth sheath to your body, an earth shell, flesh. Then there's reproductive and productive generative principle, which is the fluids. And the fluids
got to be a soundbite.
The fluids, I have to make it for the youth to understand it. The fluids are shot by the astral flame, which controls motion and emotion, your soul, the fire. So we have earth, water, and fire. The last one is the one we share, the mental, which is air. And this one CNN can infiltrate and stuff like that. Or when I was going MAGA hard, before I was dark MAGA means you get married and start a family. But we're more black built, so it's like we get head from an OnlyFans girl and then we repent, like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that with Stacy. So we're dark MAGA. We tell the truth. The mental plane is shared. That's why after this podcast, you will never be the same. For the rest of your life, you will be inching towards red pill. I've yanked you 1,000 meters this way.
You're funny, dude.
I'm telling you, they learn different stuff. We've never been taught in school that when you're depressed, you catch colds faster. Why are these people in the Federal Reserve taught that? You ever thought of that?
I mean, I don't know about what the people in the Federal Reserve are taught or not taught, but a lot of shit you're saying is very fucking interesting.
Yeah,
and truthfully, there are things that like kind of make sense, but at times you sound a little radical.
Yeah,
you know that.
Well, the truth is stranger than fiction because fiction is only what you can imagine.
Zerka is intelligent. I love to know the books he read.
Warning, what you're about to hear and see will disrupt how you trade and invest forever. Let me ask you a question. What if I told you the next 24 months are going to be the most profitable chaos, volatility we've ever seen in the financial markets worldwide? What if I told you that while the media is distracting you with this silly nonsense, there's a small group of traders quietly cashing in on a new world order right under your nose? Because while you're seeing the headlines, Trump, Russia, China, the EU, they're not just playing politics. They're carving up the entire planet like a Thanksgiving turkey. This isn't theory. This is the blueprint. And if you don't know how to trade this global breakup, you're going to get wiped out while the sharks get rich and richer. You see, the U.S. is actually retreating into what's being called the Super North America. China's pulling back from Russia to lock down Asia. And Europe, they're on life support, scrambling to survive as the war machine eats up what's left of their economy. And here's the punchline. This is not bad news for people like you and me. This is a once-in-a-decade setup. We're talking historic moves in currencies, wild swings in gold, oil, gas, defense stocks, Chinese techs, AI companies, and crypto. The sort of chaos that makes fortunes if you know where to look. And right now, I'm one of the only who's showing you how to profit from the fracture of the global economy. This isn't a silly TikTok dance video. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start giving you guys full strategies, the plays, the timing, the watch lists, the setups that I usually only do in my private community. But I'm only sharing it with you if you're serious. If you're tired of the noise. If you're ready to finally trade like the insiders do during chaos. Then stop what you're doing and follow this page right now. Because the next phase of this global shakeup has already started. And if you're not positioned when it hits, you're done. Follow this page right now. Turn on your notifications. Because when the next play drops, it's too late to catch up. Don't just look at history happen. Trade it. Dominate it. Get paid from it. Click follow. Or get left behind.
Count me in. Where do we start? By the way, I trade Forex and crypto.
It's a dangerous thing to discover your purpose. Because when you discover your purpose, you're going to become an irritation to people. Sure. You are going to upset people, and also, when you discover your purpose, you are going to declare your independence, because you are not going to allow other people to dictate to you and tell you what to do, because you've discovered now your purpose. Sure. And when you discover your purpose, food will become a stumbling block. Sleep will become a hindrance. And so all I want to encourage everybody, you know, this year I'll be 73 years old. Sure. And thank God, I said this very humbly, when I discovered God's purpose, I am more active now than I was about 20 years ago.
Ooh.
Wow. Because purpose prolongs life. It produces quality life. Only God will decide when, where, and how. So my life's in God's hands. So I would encourage you. In fact, living long is not a sign you've done something. Okay. Living long doesn't impress God. Many people say, you know, I'm 100 years old, and you ask them what they've done yesterday, they can't remember.
Once you discover your purpose, everyone will know that you are a man on a mission. It will irritate most and inspire a few.
Justin Bieber got on live and was tweaking out, y'all. I know everybody remember this picture of him walking in public looking like this Well, he was just on live and he looked like this, but on video form. To me, it sounded like he was previewing music, but that ain't the music everybody accustomed to hearing. This man real live sound like he was faded off of too many drinks of the, you know, or he could have been up there with the kites. Y'all look at the video and y'all let me know. The other live look worse, y'all. Look at this. And then I wonder who he was talking about when he posted, I try to play nicey, whatever that means. A lot of people try to speculate that he was talking about Selena Gomez. I'm just saying, since Diddy been locked up, this man seemed like he been going through it. Am I tripping? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Is this man tweaked out or nah?
Prayers for Justin. He needs deliverance.
Take a step back and really look at this. I went to Exeter Cathedral a few months back.
Fascinating.
A so-called medieval masterpiece, supposedly finished in the 1400s. But let's be honest. How? That ceiling perfectly symmetrical, stretching across the entire cathedral without a single misalignment.
Wow.
No steel, no modern machinery, just chisels and wooden scaffolding. They tell us it was crafted by hand, stone by stone. Yet even today's best engineers would struggle to replicate it with such flawless precision. Now look at the carved wooden seating. Every bench, every detail, perfectly aligned, measured with an accuracy that we're told didn't exist back then. No miscuts, no uneven spacing, just a level of perfection that seems beyond its time. And then there's the organ, not playing, just sitting there. Look at it, the craftsmanship, the intricate carvings, the sheer scale of it. Built in 1665, they say. But how did they lift it? How did they carve it with such mastery when apparently they lacked the tools to do so? They call this a place of worship, a place of devotion. But maybe, just maybe, it's something more. Because if we were asked to build this today, with all our technology, all our advancements, could we really do it? Or would we just be guessing, like we are now?
It's probably important that you recognize this. See, of all of the conflicts everywhere that we're focused on, did you know that Mexico is the terrorism capital of Earth? And we have an open border. Hezbollah, which is a proxy agent trained by Iran, has a massive presence on the other side of that very open border. See, you're told that TikTok is a danger because of Chinese surveillance. Dude, the people monitoring these are in California, and all of your devices, all of them, to include these vapes, are surveilling you. And they're all made in China. Yeah, we make them there. Now, if you crack open your vape, what you'll see is a little magnetic disc. It's no transmitter, it's just a little magnetic disc. That's a fucking microphone. See, I could point a device at it and activate it so I could hear whatever I need to hear. There's also something that will be sold on Amazon, if it's not already, where I could take a green laser and have that allowed to be seen, or just seen through me through what looks like an ACOG. I could speak into a microphone and have anything I want heard very clearly into your ear, and your brain will replicate the feeling of someone actually speaking into your ear. And this has a utility to it. If you can't have any devices on you whatsoever and I need to relay information to you, I just point it here. But now it's being used to drive people crazy. Gang stalking's real, but that's done by private companies that are using random dipshits that they hire through an app to gang stalk. I'm shitting you not. All right, now here's some other shit. Drugs. Your LSD revolution. LSD is incredibly hard to make. Okay, it's not crystal meth. MK Ultra ain't done. They spread LSD all over the world to trigger a drug revolution, a sexual revolution, a spiritual revolution in which you thought you were fighting the man. It was the man that was giving you them drugs. Okay? And the entire black budget, almost the entire black budget, is funded by drugs. But it is funded by the black market. Something else to think about. See, all of the UFOs that you see, especially the ones that are emitting laser light shows with green lasers, are flown by us. Now, these whistleblowers want you to believe that these aliens are a danger to you. Okay? It wasn't until the 1950s, after these thousands upon thousands of years, these fuckers have been visiting our world. You've never heard of fly until the 50s? Okay, the only people that have to keep abducting people over and over and over again, keep fucking up their research to get new specimens, are fucking people. The only people evil enough in the universe, interested enough in the universe to fuck with your genetics are people. That's what these underground bases are for, making genetic freaks. They've been doing it forever. You don't think our genetics are advanced? Okay? Almost all of the fruit that you eat, okay, are completely man-made.
What?
Yeah. Over 100 years ago. Imagine what they're keeping from you. In 1956, artificial intelligence was developed at MIT, and it was writing movie scripts. They let it out to the public to scare the Soviets. And they put a lid on it, and then came up with the movie Terminator 2. Skynet's real. Except in this case, AI is to take away all your jobs, split a wider gap between the elites and people that are jobless, dependent upon the state, whether it's collecting welfare, universal basic income is what they're going to call it, or you're in prison, in the prison industrial complex, which owns the music industry, using sound frequency hypnosis on you to create hood culture, gangs, criminal culture, and drug addiction, a dependency on the black market. Yeah. And witchcraft is fucking real. Everybody running the show is very much so steeped in the occult. It's hidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge that you're not really allowed to know anything real about, other than the fact that, well, it's being used on you. It's part of the rules of witchcraft to let you know that it's being done to you so it can be done to you, and they get off on the fact that you ain't doing shit about it. Do you think that they're in these untouchable positions of power? That's why they calcify your pineal gland, so you're fucking stupid. So they could prove to themselves that you have no business thinking for yourself. Stop proving these people right.
Careful, friend. The very bottom of the rabbit hole leads to an inverted reality, not somewhere you want to end up. By the way, you invited to the bonfire, brother.